talking about stopping the process, oil production stopped in 1993 in Ogoniland. Yes, the pipes and all that are still there, but oil production itself stopped in 1993. Now, Ms. Briggs gave an analogy, said when you stop smoking, say 5 years, you stop smoking, no matter how bad your lungs are, there's a sort of recycling process, and you just say that nature itself is merciful. So, now that this has stopped in 1993, is it that nothing was done from 93 till now? That's why the nature's process of restoration did not set in.
You just said it, nothing was done. Nothing has been done.
So now that this has been discovered, what should be done now? Remove the pipelines?
Replace those pipes. If you keep a pipe in a place for 50 years, they're definitely going to corrode. So change the pipes, that's the first thing. But that is still back to Shell. The people should be the concern here. Now, Shell has perfected their ways over the years. There was a time the oil companies could remove governments in this world. They were that powerful. They could remove traditional rulers in some other places. They've removed sheikhs. Now, they have a system in place, which we now have to think of how to counter that system. They use divide and rule. Look at it now. They say they will pay $1 billion as compensation. Everybody's now falling over, fighting themselves over $1 billion. But will that solve the problem? No. But it has caused in-house confusion. So you're not looking at the problem, you're looking at the number. Now, for example...
I'm sorry, they didn't say they were going to pay $1 billion. I think they say $1 billion would be needed to clean up that place. That's about 150 billion naira. And even now, the federal government is almost saying that they will have to, raise a fund to that effect, because it seems they do not have the financial muscle to be able to, bring up the $1 billion that will be needed to clean up the area.
Now, they've mentioned a number, right? So that number is what everybody now focuses on, and we start falling over ourselves. Look at the federal government has reacted to that number. Now, what we should look at is look at the oil spill in the Gulf of Mexico. $9.5 billion was used to clean up a 1-year spill. Now, we've had oil discovered in Ogoni and started drilling since 1979. Till date, that is, even with the pipes still there, for the fact that they say they are not drilling, that is 63 years. So you've had oil spill for 63 years. You're now mentioning a number which is ridiculous.
1979.
79.
Till now.
You have
33 years.
33 years. Sorry.
So you say the Gulf of Mexico BP oil spill, they spent $9.5 million just to clean up that, and you're trying to equate that to the number of years that this spill has been in that particular Niger Delta region.
And then if you look at a report, it says more oil is spilled from the Delta's network of pipelines, pumps and station platform every year than has been lost in the Gulf of Mexico for 1 year. And these pipelines have been around for 50 years. So that gives you an idea of the magnitude of the problem. So whatever is being offered has nothing to do with dealing with the problem. What we should now do is, what are the problems? No water, no food, no education. How do we address it? We want a standard water treatment plant in these areas to help clean up the water. The system should invest in education so that you have state-of-the-art facilities in these areas. So the tomorrows will be taken care of. They grow up educated enough to know that, look, you don't throw a polyethylene bag around anyhow. That can only come if they have the facilities in place. Then the cleanup is a must. Then we now go to resource control. The local people should be able to control the resources in their environment. I look forward to a day when maybe a primary 6-year-old girl will have a project to do in the Delta on oil production in my community. and walks to a flow station and asks for the quantity of oil that's being pumped out of that flow station per day, and asks for the costs so as to put it in her report or her project, that will be the day when we'll now say, yes, accountability is being taken care of. The thing is that, look at what we are talking of. A local government in the Delta doesn't know what comes out of his backyard. So he can't project.
But do you think that it can be trusted? Because now that you've mentioned resource control, if we're going to believe in, if state governments and local governments too have been held culpable in all of this, can they be trusted with the resource that comes out from that land? Can they be trusted to hold the oil companies accountable and responsible, assuming, you know, that they misbehave again?
Now, that's the process we are now growing into. Over the last couple of years, we've had military dictatorship. So a military man will put a gun to anybody's head and say, look, give me your birthright. You don't have a choice. Now we have a choice. If a politician does not perform, if somebody is not credible enough, I'll give you an example. We have cooperatives in the local level. Now, if you are the financial secretary of a cooperative group in your locality, you embezzle money, and give or take 5 years' time you want to contest for local government chairman or a councillor, everybody knows you. You've proven that you are not credible enough for such a position.
Or chances are that you can always bribe your way.
That's what I'm saying. It's a process we're going through. Everybody remembers when you were a treasurer in the cooperative group, you swindled money. So you just definitely can't qualify. Now we have people who haven't tried or tested get into position, leadership position. With the process we're going through, democracy, we will grow. And in a short time, we will now have credible people in positions of authority. Look at the joke now. Senators are on recess, and this kind of report is on ground.
So you said water treatment plants, very quickly in closing. Water treatment plants, education, resource control. But again, now, when we put the water treatment plant, this is for the humans there. What about animal life? Very quickly, how can it be replaced?
That's where the education is. I'll give you Everglades in the US. They stopped water flowing into the Everglades many years ago. Now a group has come up, look, let us stop this. Let us restore the Everglades. They are doing it. That is because they're educated enough. There are some parks in the US where the community are more enlightened than the park rangers and park managers. So if you do something wrong in the park, everybody outside say, look, that is wrong. Let's correct it. The same thing will happen here if we educate. That was why I mentioned a child doing a project on. So if a child at primary school level is doing a project on petroleum in her community or his community, you know what that person will grow into.
With all these solutions you're preferring now, how long would that take? Now the cleanup, they say 30 years. We are saying we need to get this thing done in a shorter period. We need to get life back in Ogoniland in a shorter period. So can we have an estimate of how long this will take, assuming the federal government is willing to move now?
The thing is that people haven't packed out of the place. They're still living there. People will continue living there. Now, give or take, if you put things in proper perspective, 5 years, good quality life will start returning to those places. Proper perspective. Not money meant for local rural area going back to the urban areas. Not going to the federal capital territory. Not going for travels around Europe. Going to the local community. That's why I mentioned water, education. And then, one thing the government has to come into is medical facilities. They must provide state-of-the-art medical facilities because people are dying every day in those places because of the contamination.